Hey everybody, this is Liz LePage. I am so excited to be here today because I'm going to be talking to you about the Artsy Couture website and how to order canvas gallery wraps by using their printing service. Now, the reason we're starting out on their website is there's actually a couple things we need to make sure we select before we go into resize. Up at the top of the screen, we're going to choose Shop and jump down to Wall Decor. There are a few different types of wraps that you can actually create. There's canvas wraps, which are printed on canvas, print wraps, which are printed on paper, but then they're wrapped around these beautiful wooden boxes. And then you can also print on just straight wood, which is really, really cool. And one of the things that they mention about wood is that each different panel of wood is going to be a little bit different. So it's really, really fun. It's very unique. We're going to be choosing canvas wraps because that's what I ended up printing and using for the review. So I'll click on Shop Now. The reason why we're doing this is right here on the right-hand side, we need to make sure we choose the depth and the size of our print ahead of time. Now, depth is going to be the depth of the actual print, so how far it sticks off of the wall. This is going to be very important information inside of resize because we have to choose the thickness of the wings, so that's going to be the depth. There's lots of different words that we use to talk about this, and this website, Artsy Couture, uses depth. Inside of resize, it's called thickness, and a lot of times you'll hear me use the phrase wings. So just so you know, that's what I'm talking about. When any of those words are used, they're all talking about the same thing. Inside of the depth drop-down menu, you can choose 3/4 of an inch or you can choose 1.5 inches. It just depends on what you like and what your preference is. I prefer the 3/4 of an inch, so I'm going to go ahead and choose that. And then you'll also want to choose your size. I'm going to be printing square, so orientation won't be an issue for me. But if you are going to be printing, let's say 16 by 20, don't forget to select landscape or portrait for your orientation. When we hit Customize Now, it'll jump over to this page, and here you can see that there are 3 different ways that you can create a canvas wrap. Full canvas coverage is what we're going for. This is where you can actually see that wrap happening. You can also choose black border or white border. And what I want to point out here is look at how even in the thumbnail, this print with the wrap looks so much better than the one with black or white. So this is why we go into so much trouble into making these wraps and using resize to create that thickness or those wings. It actually makes a really, really big difference. Okay, we'll select this. And now we're going to need to upload a photo. Let's go ahead and jump into On1 and play around in resize and get our image ready. In the top left-hand corner of Browse, you'll see that I have my photo selected. It's called Bridegroom 61, and it's already cropped to a square, which is great, but we need to jump into resize. So we've got our image selected. Go ahead and click resize on the right-hand side. Now, once you're in resize, there are 2 things that are really, really important. The first one's going to be your document size. Currently, this image is set at 12.5 by 12.5, so it's 12.5 by 12.5 inches. If you'll remember, on the Artsy Couture website, we selected 16 by 16, so I need to go ahead and type in that new width. It'll automatically adjust the height for me, and then I don't need to worry about any of the settings because when I upsize my image in resize, the resize algorithm does its magic, so there's nothing really else I have to worry about here. The most important part of this is going to be our gallery wrap pane. Let me go ahead and turn that on. And once I do, it'll automatically apply some wings for me. So this is that depth that we were talking about earlier. Everything that is in the center of this image is going to be the center of the canvas. And then on the outside of these cyan guidelines, those are our wings. Now, a really quick note, those cyan guidelines are not going to print, so don't worry about them. They're just guides so we can kind of see what's going on. The first thing we need to do is adjust the thickness of those wings. Right now it's set to 2 inches, which is way bigger than we need. If you'll remember, on the Artsy Couture website, we chose that 0.75 or 3/4 of an inch. So let's go ahead and type that in right now. Once we go ahead and click out of that box, it will change that size for me automatically. So it's really fast, really easy. The next thing I need to do is go up to the type drop-down menu. Now what this is the type of reflection that is being created on the wings here. Currently, it is just reflecting our original image onto the wings. But what I like to do is select something called Stretch Soft or Reflect Soft. Reflect Soft is exactly what you see, but with a slight blur. So it blurs out some of those details so that they're less noticeable. Stretch Soft will soften just like Reflect Soft, but it does something that I absolutely love. So when you have harsh details and they're appearing on the side of your canvas and they're kind of distracting, for me, it's down at the bottom here, this weird carpet, and then also this very strange light fixture in the top left. They're very distracting. So Stretch Soft is going to stretch out the pixels and then apply softening. So all of those details start to kind of fade away. It looks a little bit better sticking off the wall this way. I really, really love Stretch Soft if you have details that need to definitely be less noticeable. You can choose whichever one you like, but so far this has been my favorite, and I've printed a lot of canvases, and this is always the one I jump back to. All right, the last thing we're gonna do here is uncheck Add to New Layer. We don't need to add a new layer. We don't need to make any changes to it. So we're pretty much good to go. I'm going to go ahead and click Done. It's going to tell me that it needs to flatten this document, which is not a problem. I'll go ahead and click OK. And now it's going to save this image back into Browse. All right, so we're back in Browse, and up in the top left-hand corner, you'll see our original image, that Bridegroom 61, and then right next to it is Bridegroom 61 copy. This is the PSD file that we just created with our new gallery wrap wings on it. What I need to do is export this as a JPEG or a TIFF. Artsy Couture and most printing services are not going to accept PSD files, so you always need to make sure that you save it as a separate file type. To do that, just select your image, go down to the bottom right and click the Export button, and then up in the File Type section right up here, I'm going to open this up and we're going to save it as a JPEG. If you have any questions about whether you should save an image as a JPEG or a TIFF, if you have any questions about color profiles, which is the other option in this drop-down menu here, there's lots of great information on the On1 website, and there's lots of great information out there in pretty much any photo book ever. So I'm not going to go ahead and delve into this now. If you've got any questions about it, feel free to comment and let me know what you think. Down below under location, I'm going to save this to my current folder. And then down underneath file names, I'm not going to change anything. This is being saved as a JPEG, so I don't need to worry about a name or anything like that. And I'm just going to go ahead and click export. If you're exporting JPEGs, they tend to go really, really quickly. So all of a sudden, we're going to have our brand new copy JPEG. This is going to be the one that we upload to our Artsy Couture website. So let's go ahead and jump back on there to play around. Once we're back on this website, this is the exact same screen we left at, and here is our canvas print that we need to put a photo in. On the left-hand side, you can choose My Device and upload a photo, or you can actually create your own online galleries. These are photos that are saved if you have prints that you order often for photo shows, if you have clients that you know are going to want multiple prints of the same thing and you want to upload it and make it easier. I've created a gallery here, and I wanted to show you what this image looks like with and without the gallery wrap edges. I'm going to click on my original image, and one of the things that you can see here is that it's eating away at some of the original photo. So about 3/4 of an inch, which is our edge size. It's actually taking away information from that photo and using it to create the wings. If you have a photo that has very specific details or you've cropped it in a very particular way, you don't want to do this. This is the exact reason why we use the gallery wrap. So let's click on our new image, and all of a sudden the center part of our photo is our original image, and then these are the wings that we created. That Stretch Soft, where you can see that it's kind of blurry and it's definitely not the same image but the same kind of color information there. These are those gallery wrap wings in action, which is really cool. You can actually see the difference here of the original photo and then what happens when we use the wings. So it's very, very important that you do this if you're interested in creating a beautiful, seamless gallery wrap print.